Advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Boys and my friends.
I have a voice and a heart.
I have a voice. I have a voice. I have a voice.
I love you.
I have a voice. My voice is strong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunanan. On this show, we talk about everything under the sun, and tonight's show is about health, specifically Down syndrome. And Down syndrome is a condition that some children are born with that causes mental retardation and common, unique physical characteristics. And joining us to talk about this interesting topic and shed light on the matter is the chairman of the Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines, Mr. Tony Pasha. Good evening, Mr. Pasha, and welcome to Philippines Uncut.
Thank you. Good
Opo.
evening.
Now, I'm actually glad. I think we met a while back, and I'm really glad that I was able to get you on the show today because this is really a very interesting topic for me and for a lot of parents out there who are concerned about Down syndrome. Okay, let's talk about your background first.
Well,
Tell us a bit about yourself.
my family. I'm married. I have 3 daughters, and Kathleen, Christine, and Vicky Lou. And the youngest, Vicky Lou, has a condition called Down syndrome. She's 22 now. My wife was a teacher in Xavier School before, and now she's just at home now.
Opo.
Yeah.
Opo. Now, the Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines, I understand that you were one of the founders. Tell us a bit about the history of your association.
Well, it came about when our daughter was born in 1991, and then the first question I asked the pediatric geneticist, who was Dr. Carmencita Padilla, was if there was an apparent association that I could go to, no? And she said, unfortunately, there's none. But she said, she remembered. She said 11 days earlier, there's another family who was also blessed with a child with Down syndrome, asking the same thing. And I said, who is this family? And then he mentioned Mr. Jerry Walmsley. 4 months after that, that was February, about sometime June or August of 1991, we were able to meet up with the Walmsleys by accident in the clinic of Dr. Reyes. So we were seated right beside each other.
Yes.
And then I told my wife, look at the baby, mukha-mukha nung anak natin. No? So, and then we both smiled. And then that's how it started. we started comparing notes. And then sabi ni Baby Wamsley, you should meet my husband. No? So we set up a dinner. Siguro that was a Wednesday, a Friday. We went out for dinner.
Apo.
And then perhaps that was the best time we had, because we were just crying. The four of us were just crying and exchanging notes on, why this happened to us.
Yes.
What are we gonna do?
Yes.
And then after that meeting, we said, this feels good. So maybe, do you know of other parents that have this children? And so they at that time already they were bringing Christopher to a school.
Yes.
So they've met a couple of parents, and we've known some. Sabi
Yes.
namin, sige, let's meet again.
Uh-huh.
And that's how the Down syndrome.
So it really started as a support group.
Yeah,
And
just meeting of families of,
Yes.
of parents who are similarly blessed with a child, and just exchanging notes. And then it happened. It just flowed that after siguro 3 meetings, with the push from a dear friend, si Robin Tong, sabi niya, you just can't leave it this way. Why don't you incorporate it? I'll help you. So gawa siya ng cheque. Sabi niya, akin na lahat ng contribution niya. And we'll start an association.
that was the seed money for the association.
Yeah, to register it with the SEC. And that was how it started. So by about February of 1992, we were incorporated as the Down Syndrome Association.
How big is your association today?
Well, after 21 years, we have branches in Cebu and Davao. And of course, the head office is here in Makati. We have about a membership of only 3,000. But I would like to think that we have reached about 10,000 families. Sometimes they wouldn't want to join for reasons, no? But we respect that. The important thing for us is that we're able to hand out the correct information to the families.
Okay.
This is your roadmap that you should do.
Okay.
And if they're comfortable with that, we're happy.
Mr. Pasha, what is the mission and vision of the Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines?
Well, basically, it's okay. Jerry put it very nicely. He said, it's a family support, parent support group,
Parent support group.
replacing fear, sorrow, denial, and something else, with replacing it with hope, love, joy, and understanding.
Nice, nice. And clearly, children who are born with this condition, along with the families, really need hope, love, joy, and understanding. I mean, it really is something that I can imagine that families really need to struggle with.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and it's not easy.
No.
Mr. Pasha, what are the specific plans and programs, briefly, of your association?
We're really here for our children.
Mm-hmm.
It's been existing for 21 years, just doing that. We give out information to families. Sometimes, unfortunately, we cannot really commit to taking care of some of the financial requirements, though, because we feel that we will not be able to do that consistently. But where we're good at is when we find out that there's a parent that needs help, we rush immediately to assist that new family.
Assist in what way?
Call them immediately.
Very
Hello,
important, very
my name is
important.
Tony Pasha.
Very
I'm
important.
also a parent, and we want you to
You're not
know
alone.
You're not alone,
Very important.
and we want to congratulate you for your baby.
Alam niyo po, very important, because I can just imagine what a parent must feel. I mean, okay, let's be frank. All parents would like to have, kids
Yeah.
with no disability whatsoever. And so, when they are given a child with Down syndrome, when the fate has it that they have a child with Down syndrome, it must be a very shocking, very scary,
Oh,
and also very traumatic. And so if you're by yourself, can you imagine the kind of trauma it must be? So I really see value in your group. Bravo.
when they broke the news to me that my daughter has Down syndrome,
Yes. How did it feel like?
Wow, you're like you're in a state of shock, and you're asking yourself, what did I do wrong? What is Down syndrome? How am I going to raise this child?
For sure.
What's going to happen to this child? What happened to me was that I don't think I've ever cried as hard as when I found out.
I can imagine.
And when I told my wife about it. Because, when I told Dottie, the doctor told me, because the doctor is a dear family friend of ours.
Yes.
So, when he found out, he pulled me into his office and then he broke the news. The beauty of that is that this doctor told me in a very nice way wherein I could hear it clearly without being, what do you call this, insulting.
Yes.
Kasi kung minsan, I've heard of really sad stories from new parents that the doctors who were breaking the news to them were
Yeah.
not very
Really?
sensitive in breaking it.
How could someone be insensitive to something like that? I mean, like how would they deliver it? Like just cold and clinical, like Mr. So-and-so, boom, your child is Down syndrome.
The M word is a no-no to a parent with Down syndrome. The mongoloid. Word mongoloid.
Okay.
Ang ginamit nila, ang anak po
Wow.
nyo ay
Wow.
mongoloid.
Ouch.
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 It's so painful. So, I wish, that the medical professionals who are listening would be sensitive to parents who are blessed with these children in breaking the news. That my doctor, Dr. Mabilangan, told me in such a way. Number one, he said, Tony, I am very sorry, but your daughter has a condition called Down syndrome. But don't worry, I am sending you a professional geneticist who will guide you and explain to you how you will manage and what to do with your daughter.
Opo.
Masakit, but hindi insulting.
Yes. No, I mean, when you mentioned the M word,
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, even I, as a, you can really feel, how terrible that must have been for a parent to hear. Huh?
Oo.
Mr. Pasha, okay, let's get down straight to the bottom of it. What is Down syndrome exactly? I mentioned that it is a condition that some babies are born with that causes them to have mental retardation and unique common physical characteristics. But what is Down syndrome exactly?
Okay, it's a genetic disorder.
Okay,
Okay. We have 23 pairs of chromosomes.
all right.
Yung baby, no? Or pag pinanganak yan, 23 pairs of chromosomes. Yung number 21, instead of a pair, nag-split, naging 3. So, trisomy 21. The one who discovered that is a French geneticist called Dr. Jerome Lejeune
Okay.
from the Louis
Pasteur Institute.
Pasteur Institute.
Yes, in Paris.
Paris.
Yeah.
So that he discovered that in 1959.
Okay.
And that's the cause of Down syndrome. Na-realize
The
niya.
extra chromosome.
The extra chromosome, number 20.
Why is it called Down syndrome? Why Down?
Okay. Prior to the discovery of Dr.
Lejeune.
In 1860 something, Dr. Langdon Down, a British doctor, was the one who described the physical features of children with Down syndrome.
What are the physical characteristics of a? I mean, okay, when you said the M word,
Yeah.
that flashes, that brings images into my mind of of kids with the M condition.
Yeah.
Right. So let's tell our audience what are the characteristics of a child with M.
If you can look at one of the
With Down
pictures.
syndrome.
Yeah, look
Okay.
at the baby.
Okay.
I don't know if we can see this.
Okay.
The eyes are
Let's hold it up for the. Okay.
Are
There you go.
slanted.
Yes.
nakaslant.
Okay.
And then the ears are a little bit low.
Okay.
And then they have a simian crease.
What's that?
Straight line.
Oh, really? In the palm?
Palm, hindi ganyan. Straight
Okay.
line lang siya.
Okay. Okay.
Yung feet nila, yung toe, medyo mas malayo yung toe sa mga maliliit na
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And these characteristics are common regardless of race.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're Caucasian
Yeah.
or you're
Chinese,
Asian,
Indian.
all kids of Down syndrome have these common characteristics.
Yeah.
They all have a common look about them.
Common look, but now, after a while, you'd think magkakamukha lang sila. I mean,
Yes.
they have similarities, but they really look like the families also.
Okay. And this is caused by what you said was the extra,
extra chromosome.
Instead of 21, they have 23.
Ano?
Instead of,
instead, no, 23 instead of 23 pairs,
Yes.
on the 21st,
It splits.
naging 3.
Yes. Okay. Now, what causes Down syndrome? I'm sure a lot of people are wondering. Has there been any scientific, discovery,
Okay,
evidence?
some are saying it's a something to do with an old egg
Okay. Of the woman.
of the woman,
Okay.
but some are also attributing it to a defective sperm. So hindi naman natin alam kung alin doon.
Yeah, because I chanced upon some statistics, and they said, correct me if I'm wrong, that by the time a woman reaches 30, the chances are 1 in 1,000. By 35, it's 1 in 400. By 40, the chance of her having a Down syndrome child is 1 in 200 or 100. Or
Yeah.
something. Is that correct?
Yeah, the chances are 1 in 800 worldwide. Worldwide.
Okay.
So every 800 live birth, may isa. So dito sa atin, if we're about close to what? We're about 100, almost
100 million? Almost.
100 million. So you're talking about 120,000 persons with
No,
Down syndrome.
no, 10. That's 10%.
No, 120.
Yes. Oh, yes,
120.
120,000. Yes.
Mga
Yes.
ganun.
Okay. Okay. So, is there any cause to fear, let's say, for women who are, let's say, advancing in years, and they would like to have children? Is there a risk? Is there a greater risk for them having
Yes.
Down syndrome?
Yes. But like I've said, we also have a lot of members who are younger than the age that they're saying that they're.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. The youngest one that I've met was 15 years old.
15. I'm sorry. A mother. 15
A
year
mother,
old,
a
15 years old.
15-year-old mother,
Okay.
having a child with Down syndrome.
Well, that's shocking in itself, having a 15-year-old mother.
Yeah. So 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah.
So it really is across the spectrum.
Yeah.
And as far as, let's say, your membership is concerned, not really, I mean, it's not limited to those who are
It's
above a certain age.
Yeah, it's not everybody who's 35 and above.
Okay.
You get a wide range.
Okay. Mr. Pasha, how is Down syndrome detected? In your case, you had no idea you had
No.
Down until delivery.
Yeah, in 1991, we only went through the normal process of 2D echo, no? When they were checking naman the baby, they didn't tell us anything that there's something wrong with the
You mean, by 2D echo, you mean ultrasound?
ultrasound.
But isn't it like, if they do an ultrasound on the mother, sometimes they can tell by the features of the child, like there's no nose bridge, or
Yeah.
there's...
Well, now
is that-
they're more, maybe because of the statistics, they can now measure the head size and all
Yes.
of those things. So I think they have more data now.
When your daughter was born, they didn't have those techniques
Wala
yet.
naman sinasabi sa amin
Yes.
that there's any.
Yes, yes. So that was back then. But these days, how do parents know, or how can they detect if a child has Down syndrome?
One is through, anong tawag dito, yung, what do you call that, taking the fluid?
When you get the amniotic.
Amniotic fluid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you
That's
test
one.
it. Okay.
First trimester, no?
Okay.
And then I think some of the hospitals here have it available. I don't know what kind of procedure they do.
Okay. But it is possible to know
Ahead.
first trimester.
First trimester, yeah, you'll
Is this a
find
good
out.
thing or a bad thing?
Good. For those who want to really find out, perhaps the only thing I can say is that, okay, that's your call, no? But if they say you're suspected to have a child with Down syndrome, perhaps I would encourage those families to also call our association immediately. Because we can tell you the other side. We can tell you the part where we'll tell you everything as a parent. We'll tell you it's difficult, but we will also tell you that this is the roadmap that you can do, and this is what is available in the country.
Okay.
So and we're here to help you.
Are there incidences? I know abortion is illegal here in the Philippines, but overseas where it is allowed, are there instances where parents actually abort the pregnancies when
Here?
they find out? No, not here. I mean, this is happening. I mean, abortion is illegal here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let's say
in-
overseas.
overseas, yes.
It's common.
You're given the option to terminate.
Wow. Okay.
And then this is the sad part.
Okay.
Sometimes the test is not conclusive. I have a friend. The grandmother called me up, and she was crying because the daughter, who is living in Singapore, had the first trimester test, and the results were that they suspect that the child has Down syndrome. So she said, "Tony, what am I gonna do?" I said, number one is relax. Number two, tell your daughter not to worry. There is still a chance that it is not going to be as bad as what you think. In other words, it can be a normal child. So I said, you just pray, and then let's see. If it happens that she'll have that the baby will be born with Down syndrome, we're here to help. But if it turns out na wala, then I'm happy. Everybody will be happy. 3 months ago, I got a call. She said, "My daughter, baby, is normal."
There you go.
We saved one baby.
Yes. Because as you said, overseas, if
It's
that had happened,
normal.
it could, if that had happened in another place, then that pregnancy could have been terminated. That child could have been terminated.
Yeah.
That would have been an option.
That would have been an option.
Yes.
Dito sa atin, walang ganyan, no?
Yes.
I mean, it's illegal.
Yes.
But what we're saying is that, can we play God? I mean, we don't know.
Yes.
That's why we're even saying, every time we receive a call, we're saying, congratulations, and we're telling them that this is a blessing. Life, no matter what, whether they be born with condition called Down syndrome, whether they be born with condition called autism, what is even harder are those friends of ours with children who are deaf and blind. But, and then you wonder, how is their life after being blessed with children with disabilities? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
Akala ko dati wala na.
Yes. No, I mean, that's actually something that I want to talk to you about, your personal experience, and hopefully, we can give hope and inspiration to people watching now who are probably undergoing, this situation as well. And yes, we look forward to that, talking about that in the second segment. So we have to pause for a break.
Okay.
So guys, don't go away, because more of Living with Down Syndrome when Philippines Uncut returns. Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Conan. Tonight's topic is living with Down syndrome. And my guest tonight is Mr. Tony Pasha, one of the founders of the Down Syndrome Association of Philippines, and he's also the current chairman. Mr. Pasha, welcome back to our second segment on living with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And okay, let's start off the second segment by talking about something that you said. And it struck me because you mentioned it several times when you said that people blessed with children with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And to people hearing you say that, they'd say, "How can this be a blessing?"
Yes.
Yes.
In 1992, about November, we had just started with the incorporation of the Down Syndrome Association. So, nangangapa pa rin kami. We were just taking it free-flowing. We were meeting new parents, we were exchanging notes, and hanggang we came up already with parang the early intervention program, what we call the early intervention program, wherein we get the new parents and explain to them what happened, what are we going to do, what are the programs. And then what we felt was that, it empowers them. It empowers them. It gives them self-worth that, you're giving it back to them, that you shouldn't be ashamed that you have a child with Down syndrome. And then, yung dynamics of going with a group.
For sure. Support.
Yeah. Support, yeah. And then we'd come out into the open, we'd show them, not to keep these children inside the house. If you're,
Yes.
principle yan number one. If the parents are not going to be processed properly and will not understand what happened to them, they will hide and they will keep the child inside.
I guess it's a natural human reaction.
Yeah.
If you're not prepared for it, if you're not ready to handle it, if you're not, as you said, if you haven't been, caught by the early intervention program where
Yeah.
you prepared the parents. I mean, the knee-jerk reaction would be maybe shame, guilt as well.
It's funny because they don't even want their parents to know,
I'm sure.
their brothers and sisters. Hiyang-hiya sila because they think it's nakakahiya, it's a burden. But the one that will suffer
Is the child.
is the child.
For sure.
Is the child.
For sure.
What did Dr. Lejeune tell us November of 1992? There were 8 of us, parents. Our founding chairman, si Jerry Wamsley, Mrs. Wamsley, my wife Dottie, si Jane Buenaventura, si Robin Tong, and Dr. Padilla, and then one more, I forget. And myself. So we were 8. And then in that meeting, I asked Dr. Lejeune, I said, Doctor, what do we tell as parents to other parents who are in faraway islands out of Metro Manila,
Yes.
where they don't have the doctors and the specialists who will handle their children? Because I was thinking, sabi ko, paano na ito, no? Wala namang facility sa labas. He paused, and then he said this, plain and simple.
Okay.
Tell them this. Look at the child as a child first, and his disability second. Love the child unconditionally, and that child will bloom. So simple. Look at the child as a child first, and his disability second.
Unconditional love.
Love the child unconditionally, and the child will bloom. A non-medical approach, but something so wonderful that's what we kept.
It's a very calming effect, I guess, on parents when they hear that. No?
Yeah. And we believed him, coming from him. So that's what we told the other parents.
Yes.
Look at this picture.
This is a picture of you and your daughter.
Me and my daughter.
This was taken a few years ago. She looks, you said she's in her early 20s now.
22 now.
22. And this was taken when she was, let's hold it.
This was 3 years ago in the smile, just a smile.
Beautiful photo.
That's what Lejeune was saying. The inner joy. Can you buy that? I mean,
Lovely.
yeah.
Yes.
That's what they're saying.
Okay.
And then you cannot make them. You can't take pictures of them like this if they're not feeling good.
Of course.
Okay, they may still have the They may still have some retardation, pero tignan mo.
Okay. Let's talk about treatments. Let's say, okay, if I'm a parent and I find out first trimester, for sure, confirmed my child has Down syndrome, what can be done? Is there any way to treat this, or
Yeah.
must...
Immediately,
Okay.
uh,
Can it be reversed?
no, it cannot, it will forever be that.
All right.
Okay, may condition kang Down syndrome.
Okay.
But you can help the child approximate normalcy by doing physical intervention. May mga ano yun, PT.
This is after birth. So what you're saying is that in the womb, when the parent finds out, there's really nothing.
Wala na.
I mean,
Irreversible.
that is the condition is irreversible, and okay.
You know, buddy,
Yeah.
from the time nag-meet, conception,
I guess the chromosomes. It's all about.
it's already
conception.
23, yung
Yes.
23 pairs, yung number 21 mo nandun na.
Yes.
And it splits completely. So that's why they're saying, I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
Is there life already during the time? The mere fact na irreversible nga yun,
Something was created already.
it's there.
Now, okay, I don't have much interaction with. I've never had any interaction with a Down syndrome child. Sad to say, and it's not because I avoid them. It's because I just never had the opportunity. Now, my question for you is: can a Down syndrome? I mean, I've seen them. I've seen Down syndrome children, and my question is: can a Down syndrome child look forward to any semblance of a normal life?
Yeah. If you don't mind me, buddy, correcting you,
Please.
call them children with Down syndrome.
Yeah. Children with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Go.
Okay, can they have normalcy? If you give me a chance, I'll bring you 3 kids here, and you're gonna have a hard time talking with them.
No, we're gonna have that on the next show. Definitely, we want to meet the children with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's define normal. Okay, normal means going to school and having and going to a normal school
Yeah.
and interacting with kids who have
Working.
no disability or
Yeah.
not challenged in any way. Can children with Down syndrome handle that? Can
Yes.
they do it?
The daughter of Winston Maxino, Brina Kay,
Okay.
is a 16-year-old teenager now. And she just graduated high school this summer as a valedictorian in a regular school.
Really?
Yeah.
And this is a child with Down syndrome.
Yes.
Wow. Valedictorian.
Valedictorian.
Amazing.
And she is now an ambassador for the Special Olympics representing Asia Pacific.
So she graduated valedictorian in
Yeah.
a school, and her peers were all
Normal.
or children with no
Regular kids.
handicaps.
Yeah.
Okay. What differentiates now? Okay, because I mentioned that it causes mental retardation. How far behind is a child with Down syndrome compared to a normal child?
They're varying degrees.
Yeah.
But one thing we've seen is that give them equal opportunity, give them unconditional love, the child will bloom.
And
The
it's-
promise of,
Yeah.
that's it.
And the possibility is there for integration with
So, with ano?
normal,
Yeah.
mainstream society.
Yeah. So what are we working on now after 21 years? Lucky for us, there are certain corporations now that are opening the doors wherein they can be employed. Kasi gumag-graduate na wala na magawa. I mean, they have to work. So thank God that there are corporations now who are opening doors for these children. Or these adults who are now, 21 years old now, pwede na magtrabaho.
Yes.
Yeah.
And okay, let's talk about Down syndrome. Child with Down syndrome in adult life. Can they cope on their own? Because a lot of parents are probably thinking, "Ngayon I have a child with Down syndrome."
You mean living alone?
Yes, like a few of the parents. Okay, as a parent, everyone wants to eventually, let's say, have their child, arm them with a good education, so they become independent, mature adults, and they can live on their own. They can cope and they can live and survive in this harsh world of ours. And I guess one of the fears of a parent with a child with Down syndrome is that
They cannot handle it.
what will happen? I mean, well and good while I'm around, while I'm young, while I'm working, while I'm fit, while I'm able to pay, etc., for expenses? What happens when
When I'm gone.
when I depart this earth? What will happen to my child?
Okay, that's a tough one. But
Yeah.
we're trying to prepare here by getting our children, other children, involved. Also, we're also thinking among us families or parents with or fathers of coming up with a home for them when they're when they're advancing in age,
Yes, yes.
when we're gone.
Oh,
That's why the challenge now is that they're what do you call this? They can live up to 55 years old and above.
what do you mean by that? Oh.
They're kasi dati when they did not know that 50% of children born with Down syndrome have a heart condition. 50%.
Really?
That's why a lot of them would die before mga 18. Remember?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wait, so what you're saying is that, 'cause I didn't know this. I thought that, okay, aside from the mental retardation and obviously the physical characteristics, I didn't know that there were other
Yes, meron pa.
deeper physiological defects.
50% of children with Down syndrome, this condition, they have heart condition.
Okay.
And then, so some of them, so with early detection, you can manage now. So kuminsan double whammy nga. Like Vicky was born, no? Then accepted na namin. So she has this condition with Down syndrome. And then one of the many checklists that they gave us was to have her heart checked.
Okay.
To the echo.
Okay.
Only to find out may 2 holes siya sa heart. ASD and DSD. So, syempre, iyak ka na naman.
Of course,
And
of
then
course.
you're saying, Lord, why is it you already gave me a daughter with this condition and then now meron
Heart
pa na
condition
naman heart
pa.
condition? Only, yeah. So, ganun nga. But you have to manage it. And if you face up with it and then masolve, then the child will be okay.
Okay, another question. I'm sure people are who are watching now with children with Down syndrome, are probably saying, okay, I mean all of these specialists, checkups, doctors, etc., special schools, all of this
Gonna
involves
cost money.
What about those who can't afford?
Okay.
How does it work out for them?
Okay. Well, lucky for now, there are groups who are supporting it naman. No? The Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines does not. We don't cover for the financial assistance. But what we can do is that let's say a family would approach us and member namin, we would refer them to companies who sponsors them for assistance to make to add for the cost of, let's say, the operation, or point them out to mga certain clubs that does the same.
Sponsor
Yeah.
these kinds of procedures.
Because sometimes they would call us and they would say, oh, I have 100,000. Can you earmark this for a certain family that's asking for this assistance? So we do that. So facilitate lang namin.
What about fundraising? Do you folks have fundraising?
We have
activities?
we have our annual Tee Up for Down golf tournament. We're already on our 11th year. Okay. Yeah. It's an annual thing every February. And then, every February is the Down Syndrome Consciousness Month. We were able to get that presidential proclamation courtesy of our past president, Winston Maxino, who worked on that.
Okay.
So every February, for the past, since 2002, we've been celebrating the Down Syndrome Consciousness Month.
Yes. How can they get in touch with your association, po?
Okay, we're here in Makati.
I have one of your
Yeah.
bumper stickers. I'm going to hold it up. Okay.
They can call up those numbers, 895-3606 and 895-9642. Or they can also find us on Facebook. There's somebody always in the office that can assist them and point them out to us to if they want to speak with a parent, they can refer them immediately to a parent.
Are you guys very busy in your association? I mean, do you get a lot of inquiries, a lot of calls from
yeah.
all over the country?
We do get a lot of inquiries, but especially now, thanks to Facebook, they're already there, so they want to join, and then so the other parents there would be the one assisting them naman. And then that's also another interesting development when Facebook started. Before, when we were 20 years before, you'd see you don't normally see parents posting pictures of their children with Down syndrome.
As you said, there was a stigma.
Oh yeah,
Nahihiya,
Nahihiya.
some embarrassment maybe
Oh.
like that.
Yeah. Now, babies pa lang sila na nakapost na yung picture ng mga babies nila sa Facebook. So, it's also good. It's also good.
Definitely, very inspiring.
Yeah.
Very inspiring. Let's talk about your personal experience, Mr. Pasha. What was the most challenging aspect of bringing up a Down syndrome child for you?
What was challenging?
The most challenging or perhaps the most difficult thing about
when they
bringing
get
up-
sick.
Okay.
It really breaks my heart. And then the few times that we would have to go to, some of them would not make it. We would have members where babies are really very, very sick, and then so they would die. I guess for the past 21 years, maybe we can count siguro a couple of families also who've lost their children. But interestingly, even if they've lost their children, they're still active with us. Those children are still alive in their hearts up to now.
Of course.
And then up to now, they're still helping the association.
No, of course, because they've gone through this
They know.
this ordeal, if you might call it that, like that, and they can identify with their co-members.
And so that's why whenever we'd have this unfortunate situation, we'd refer them to those who experience it on how to cope up with that, the loss.
Yes, yes. Was it expensive to raise for you to a child with Down syndrome? What are the biggest costs involved? Obviously, medical.
Medical.
That's it.
And then, of course, the PT, the occupational therapist, the speech therapist. You have to have their ears checked, eyes checked, thyroid checked every year. Their heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like baby pa lang para ka nagpapa-college na.
Wow. No. That's a lot of expense. How is your daughter doing now? You said she's 22 years old.
She's 22.
22, yeah.
She's still going to school in.
Is she going to special school?
Yes. This is run by the Rotary Club of Makati, Stepping Stone.
Okay.
They're just here in Guadalupe.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's enjoying her school. She enjoys going to see her classmates there. They're being taught now how to bake, and then also how to do laundry.
This is a school for children specifically with Down syndrome.
Not only Down syndrome, but children also with autism and other mental and other disabilities.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that it is possible that some children have gone to normal schools.
Oh yes.
Alam niyo yung problema ho doon, and I'm just thinking out loud here. Sometimes children are mean, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like they tease, they make fun of that. I mean, that's just how children are sometimes. I mean, they can be mean, and insensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How do we?
yeah, how do you, if you have a child with Down syndrome, how do you send this child to a normal school, knowing that this child will probably face a lot of, let's say, ridicule?
We're not going to shield them from reality. It's part of growing up. So what we do is we work on the families and children who are classmates of our children. We explain to them the condition, and then you'd be surprised also that it does the normal children a lot of good when they have classmates who are special. because they learn how to be sensitive,
Tolerant.
they learn how to be patient, they learn how, these things that you cannot teach, So just being with them is also a positive.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I guess also children are different from children in my time. At least I think children now are more sensitive. I mean, there's a lot of campaigns about tolerance, race tolerance, sexual preference tolerance. I mean, things like that. So I think children now are also possibly different. With access to Facebook and social media.
There's one body in Bacolod, the daughter of our dear friend, si Francis Goles and Trish Goles. They operate a nursery school. So si Sam, who is now what, I think 19 or 18, works with them now. They're in that school. She also graduated from a regular school, from Santa Scholastica in Bacolod. Thanks to the sisters of Saint Scholastica who accepted her with her condition, and she was able to graduate high school. She went through the prom. She went through and she goes she loves to run mga marathon. I don't know how many kilometers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it just proves that people with
they can do anything.
Can do anything.
The son of our president now, Elmer La Peña, has a 17-year-old son, si Jeremy, plays golf with them in Santa Elena.
Is he a good golfer?
Talo pa ako sa swing.
Well, there you go.
Ang ganda.
Yeah. Mr. Pasha, before we go, we've come to the end of our show, but this is only our first show because we're going to have a second show where we're going to meet the children, talk to them, interact with them on air. What is your message for parents now who are watching, who are probably, maybe they have just discovered that they will have a Down syndrome child with Down syndrome, or maybe they already have a child with Down syndrome. What is your advice to them? Your message?
Message plain. It's not the end of the world. When a child is born, it's always a blessing. It's always a blessing. Some families are dying to have a kid. You're given one. It may not be what you've been praying for, but definitely it is a gift. Love the child unconditionally. The child will bloom. We are here, the Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines is here. We're a parent support group. We know how you feel. We know what you're going through. Do not be afraid. We will give you the roadmap. We will extend our hands, and we hope that you can hold on to us, and we'll see you through this difficult moment.
Very well said. Thank you very much, Mr. Pasha, and more power to you and your organization. Mabuhay po kayo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Salamat po.
much. Thank you, sir. And I'll see you on our next show.
Yes.
Sir. So guys, that we've come to the end of our show, and I hope you learned a lot about Down syndrome. Join us again next week here in the show where we talk about what matters to you, because you guys matter the most. I'll see you next week.